Hello everyone and happy, what's today? Thursday. Happy Thursday. How's everybody doing? I'm going to leave my email in the chat. My email is daniel@dscds.com. I always forget to do that at the beginning. Daniel@dscds.com if you want to send me an email. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to land 10 times more job offers when you interview. You should be getting 7 to 8 out of every hiring managers to give you a job offer. I'm going to tell you how to do that. I'm going to walk you through the 6 things that you need to know and understand and do to get a hiring manager to give you a higher paying job offer. Stick around to the end because I am going to show you how to. You can just send a 4-sentence question at the end of any written job offer you get, and a hiring manager will give you $5,000 to $10,000 more from that offer, and they'll be glad to do it. I'm going to explain to you exactly how that works, why they do it, what the 4-sentence email is. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. So my promise is, if you stick around to the end of this video, you will never be nervous another day when you interview. You'll know exactly what the job interview is all about, so you won't be nervous. You will know every single question that a hiring manager will ask you. You will know why they ask those questions. You will know how to answer and why you should answer the way that you answer those questions. So if you have an interview that's coming up, or you're struggling to get interviews or struggling to get through interviews, then this is going to be for you. If you're watching this on the replay on YouTube, you can also reach out to me. It's Daniel@dscds.com. Daniel@dscds.com. Stick around all the way to the end. Not only am I going to tell you about how you can get $5,000 to $10,000 more from every written offer that you get, but I'm going to also provide you with huge discounts on some resources just in case you need help. Only if you need help. Okay? So, for those of you, if this is your first time in the live and you're like, who is this guy? I'm going to tell you, I've been in talent acquisition and recruiting as a recruiting leader, senior recruiter, recruiting manager, national recruiting manager, VP, and COO for many companies for the past 36 years. I design the entire hire process for the companies I work for. What do I mean? When a company hires me, they're hiring me because they have a people picking problem. They don't have enough people that's coming in the door in terms of recruiting, and the quality of candidates they're getting may not be the best. They may have turnover. There's a bunch of stuff that's going on. So they hire me to manage the entire front half of the human resources department, which is talent acquisition, and my job is to eliminate that problem for them. So I am an expert at finding you. I'm an expert at interviewing you to make sure that you're the right fit for the company. I'm an expert at eliminating turnover. Okay, I'm going to explain to you why in just a second. And so when a hiring manager needs to hire someone, they come to my office and they sit down and say, Daniel, we need to hire somebody for this particular role. So I'll say, okay, great. Tell me a little bit about the role. I will pull together a job description, get their approval. I will then do a salary survey to get the salary range, get their approval. Once I have their approval, I will publish it in the applicant tracking system, and when I do that, it goes to our career site, and 6 to 8 hours later you see it on a job board. That's what I do. The interview questions that a hiring manager asks you, I'm the one that gives the hiring managers those interviews and trains them on what to say and what to listen for to give them an indication of whether or not you are a top candidate. So all of the interview questions and answers I'm going to give you right now are the interview questions and answers that I give hiring managers. I teach every single person on my fast track program, and anybody that I do a one-on-one coaching session with, I tell them this. So I'm going to tell you the 6 to 8 job interview questions that you will get almost every single time you interview and how to answer them. I also at the end will be telling you how you can get my top 50 interview questions and answer cheat sheet. Right? It's a sheet that you have. You can just look at that and it'll tell you every question that every hiring manager will ask you. It doesn't matter what the job is. I don't care. Any job, all jobs, it will tell you exactly what they're going to ask you. All right? So, we're going to go ahead and get started here in just a second. So, if you're someone who is struggling to get job offers once you interview, this is for you. Just a little bit about my story so you can understand, because many people ask, well, why do you do this, Daniel? Like, what is it all about? I didn't set out to do this, be honest with you. It just kind of happened to fall in my lap. So I grew up very poor, rich in love, but love can't pay no bills though. Rich in love, but we were poor. We had no resources. My mom and my dad were married for about 25, 26 years. My mom married my father when she was 16 years old. Now she's 93, so you could do that back then, but she was 16. She had her first child when she was 18 years old. My oldest brother, God rest his soul. And there was 8 of us. I'm the 7th of 8 children. My dad didn't make a lot of money either. He was a sky cab at the Miami International Airport. And what that means is people who pulled up to the airport, he helped them take their luggage out of their car. And he worked for a small hourly amount plus tips. So we didn't have a lot of money at all. My dad did the best he can. My mom did the best she could. I didn't really know we were poor until I was about 12 or 13 years old. I started participating in team sports like football, basketball, baseball, and I also did wrestling. And we needed to buy equipment like shoes, pads, different things like that. And I realized it was a struggle for my mom to get us cleats and everything. And again, she did the best she could. She didn't have a GED. She didn't graduate from high school because she got married early. And so when her and my dad broke up, she didn't have a skill. We lived in a 3-bedroom house, 1-car garage, 1 bathroom. Our water was turned off a lot. We had gas to heat our water heater. It got turned off a lot. Our electricity got turned off a lot. I just thought that was how it was. We didn't have a lot of food, so I used to eat mustard sandwiches, ketchup sandwiches, mayonnaise sandwiches, just peanut butter sandwiches or jelly sandwiches, because we didn't have a lot. But again, I was having a good life. But when I was 12 or 13 years old and I needed to get equipment for sports, it was a struggle for my mom. And we obviously had to ask her all the time, hey, I need this, I need that, I need that. And it was a struggle for her to get it. So I started feeling like, oh my goodness, I'm a burden on my mama. Like I don't like the way she's looking or feeling when she has to get something for me. So at about 13 or 14 years old, I said, I'm gonna find a way to remove that burden from her. I'm gonna start making money. I'm gonna find a job, get me a job, make some money, so that she doesn't have to worry about me. That the things that I need, like if it's cleats or anything, school supplies, I could buy it for myself. Because I didn't like the way it made my mom, like not made her feel, but I didn't like the way I felt because I thought it was a burden on her. So when I was 14 years old, I took a little job, because you could, with the Miami Herald, throwing newspapers door to door. Now we get all of our news on the internet right now, but the way we used to get our news is in newspapers. So I would throw newspapers door to door, make a little bit of money. And then when I turned 15, that's when I got my first job at McDonald's. There was a McDonald's I could walk to. And then after that, I worked at Burger King and I worked at Popeyes, because they were close in my neighborhood as well. But I started being able to buy stuff for myself, my school supplies. If I wanted some shoes or whatever, I could do that because I was making money then. And I felt the relief that my mom didn't have to worry about me. Now, I was a very good wrestler in Florida. In my junior year, my senior year, like when I was in ninth grade, which is junior high for us in Florida, I was like the city champion. My 8th grade year, my 9th grade year. My 11th grade year and 12th grade year, I was one of the top 2 and 3 wrestlers in the entire state at the highest division in wrestling. So I had college scholarships. But when it came time to make a decision about those college scholarships, I turned them down because I said, okay, if I go to college, like my mom's not going to be able to send me money or support me, and I don't want to put that on her. So I turned those scholarships down and went into the U.S. military. They promised me that they would help me get my education and they would allow me to wrestle as well, which they did. One of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. What's my point? I've spent the past 36 years of my life recruiting, helping candidates get jobs, because I've been trying to help you to avoid the same way I felt when I was 13. That's why I do this. Many of you are struggling. You're like, I don't have enough money to make ends meet. I can't supply for my kids. If you're a husband, I can't give my family what they want. It's a struggle. You are in a job you don't like. It's stressing you out. You can't wait until 5 o'clock comes so you can go home, and you're not making enough money. You're not getting promoted. You're not. So I've spent 36 years of my life trying to eliminate this same problem from everyone else's life. And I'll continue to do this until I am no longer breathing God's air on this earth. So that's why I do what I do. So I come on and share content with you guys to show you how easy and simple it is to land a high-paying job. You should be making $2,000 to $10,000, $10,000 more than you're making right now. And on my fast track program, which I'll tell you about at the end, I show people how to do it, and it's a guarantee. Not a, if you try this. No, if you do this, you will have 2 to 4 written job offers making more money than you're making right now in 30 days or less on my fast track program. I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. I know many of you are going to ask me, well, is there a cost, whatever. So I'm going to tell you about that. So that's my purpose. That's my call. The pain in your life, the thing that is causing you the biggest pain, it is actually an indication of the problem you have been created to solve in the earth for other people. It is your purpose. I didn't know this. All of the struggles I went through in recruiting, all of the things, knots I was trying to untie, it was for this purpose. God was preparing me to have this conversation with the rest of the world. Now I get an opportunity to talk to thousands of people every single day and help them to land high-paying jobs. But so if you stick around for the next 60 minutes, you're going to learn the exact same thing as well. So I want to make sure I'm tracking. If you're someone and you're struggling, once you interview, you're struggling to get a job offer, you're tired of getting rejection letters, you're applying to jobs, but you're not getting, either they're not calling you back, or you're not getting job interviews, or you're getting rejection letters. If that's you, I want you to just type me in the chat. I want to make sure I'm tracking. Just type me in the chat. Also, in order for us to spread this live throughout the platform, all you have to do is, if I say something that resonates with you, that you're like, man, that's good, yes, tap the screen 30 times, okay? Because I want us to get to 1,000 likes first, then we'll get to 5,000 likes, then we'll get to 10,000 likes. That just spreads the platform, spreads it throughout the platform, so other people will see that we're on and they can join us, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. I see several of you have written in the chat, Yeah, that's me. I'm sick and tired of this. I'm struggling. I need to know the way. I need help understanding how I can find a job, how I can land a job, how I can interview for a job, and how I can get more money on the job that I'm currently making. So, as I'm getting started, I'm going to read this testimony to you from somebody who was on my Fast Track program. She graduated literally a week ago. Okay? And she felt like almost every single one of you feel. I promise you that. Her name is Ariel Powell. Okay? And she says, "Dear Mr. Smiley, thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping me to land a job that pays roughly $20,000 more a year than I have ever received before." I have another person who just got $20,000 more, and she said, "I can finally stop living paycheck to paycheck." That's what this is about. And so she says she had been receiving rejection letters for 6 months. And then Ariel said, "There is truly a method to what I thought was complete and utter madness. I thought you were kidding when you said we had to submit 100 applications daily and that it would take only 30 minutes a day to do it. It used to take me roughly 30 minutes just to submit one application, let alone 100. Before you, I was losing hope in my ability to find a job. I was waking up every day to rejections, and that kind of takes a toll on you mentally. One day, I was just doom scrolling, looking for some form of inspiration to keep me going, and I came across one of your videos talking about jobs. I was a bit skeptical at first because I thought you were like everyone else, just saying what people wanted to hear for a quick follow and a paycheck. I know you're skeptical. I know it. I know it, and I'm okay with that. Okay? She says, "I skipped past your lives for 2 weeks while consistently praying to God for help. Eventually, I gave in and said, 'What harm could he do?' LOL. What caught my attention was the question you asked, which was, how many questions should you ask a hiring manager at the end of your interview? The answer you gave mystified me, so I thought I would use it if I ever got another interview. When I did get an interview, I used your line and it blew the recruiter away. I didn't get the job, but I knew right then that what you meant was business. So I took a leap of faith and invested in my future with you. Now, after only 1 week in your program, in your Fast Track program, I landed a much higher paying job than my previous one and can't stop laughing at myself for taking so long to do this. To anyone this reaches, his methods work. They are a guaranteed success, and I am proof of that. Sincerely, Ariel Powell." So 6 months, Ariel was looking for a job. Couldn't find one. Rejection letters every single day. Right? Takes a toll on you mentally. You're thinking, what's wrong with me? Why don't they like me? Why not me? You have the skill. And then she was scrolling. So God sent her an answer. She didn't respond to the answer in the beginning. She kept on passing. Okay. And then she finally decided, okay, I'm going to jump on the Fast Track program because what is going to hurt? It's no risk anyway. So I tell everybody on my Fast Track program, if you do everything I tell you to do, it's not a hopefully, maybe, kind of, sort of. You will have 2 to 4 written job offers in 30 days or less. I'm going to show you how to interview, what to say to get more money from an offer, how to find jobs. Everything. I'm going to fix your resume, your LinkedIn profile. I do all of that. That's what I did for her, right? And I do it for 60 people a month, only 60. I can't do more than that because I'm just one person. So, when you are ready for the thing that God has assigned for you to have, a solution will show up. And the choice is yours. You can say yep or no. That's completely and totally on you. All right. So let's talk about job interviewing. All right. Why are you failing to get job interview offers from jobs? Like, why is a hiring manager not telling you, yes, I want to make you an offer and I want to pay you this money and I want you to get started? Why are they not saying yes to you 7, 8, out of 10 times you interview. Here's why. Number one, the reason why you do not get job offers is because you have no idea what the job interview is actually about. You think the job interview is about you proving to the hiring manager that you have the skills, experience, education, and background to do the job they want someone to do, but you do not get the job offer because you can do the job. It's not your skills they're trying to figure out when they interview you face to face. You do not get hired just because you can do the job. That's not why they hire you. That is why you get picked to interview, but it is not the reason why they hire you. And if you go into a job interview talking about your skill, experience, education, and background as proof that you're a right fit, you will not get hired. I promise you that. Okay? Because you are not showing the hiring manager in the interview what they want to see. You're not telling them what they want to see. You're not giving them an indication of what they actually want to know about you. Now, I'm going to say it again. We do not make you a job offer because you can do the job. I'm going to prove it. Have you ever interviewed for a job and you knew you had the skill to do the job, the experience to do the job, the background to do the job? You've done that job. You could do it with your eyes closed. And you did the interview and you still didn't get the job. If that has ever happened to you, type yes in the chat. Yes or yes in the chat. That's happened to me. It has happened to me many times. I knew the problem the company had from a recruiting perspective. I can articulate it. I could tell them exactly how to fix it. Right? And I still got a rejection letter 2 to 3 days later. And I didn't understand why. And I'm in recruiting. Why didn't they pick me? Okay? I'm going to tell you why. It's because the thing the hiring manager was trying to evaluate, you did not articulate. You talked about your skills. So they say to you, tell me about yourself. That's the question they ask you. And you start talking about your career expertise, where you went to school, all the things you did. That's what you start talking about. You start telling them about your work history. And the hiring manager is saying, that's not what I'm asking you. Listen to this. The reason why a hiring manager picks you to interview is because of your resume. We're looking at your resume and we're comparing it to the job we want someone to do, and we say, oh, this person can do what I want someone to do. This person has the experience doing what I want someone to do. This person has the education and the expertise to do something what I want someone to do. Mr. Recruiter, Miss Recruiter, call them, please. Do a pre-screen and get them in front of me for an interview. So the matter of can you do the job, that is settled already. So on my Fast Track program, I tell clients, don't you open your mouth about your skill, experience, education, and background. Don't even let it come out of your mouth. Don't talk about it. Because you're going to frustrate the hiring manager. And they're not going to give you a job. So you don't talk about your work history. And then they'll ask me, like many of you may be thinking right now, well, wait a minute. If that's not what the job interview is about, what is the job interview about? I'm going to tell you. We pick you to interview because of your career and your career accomplishments. That's the proof we need that you can do the job and we want to talk to you. But we make you the job offer because of your character, not your career. We want to know if you have the character to do the job, not the skill, the character. Let me explain to you what I mean. I was playing golf like 2 weeks ago, I was in a match play with a group I'm part of. By the way, I beat the brakes off of this guy. I took a tree limb and beat him down. All right. So he said to me, "Hey, what do you do?" And I said, "I'm the chief career development officer for a global career development company." He says, "Oh, you do recruiting?" "Yes, I do recruiting. I've been doing it for 36 years. I love it." And I said, I won't stop doing it until I'm no longer here. And then he said, "Let me ask you a question. When you're interviewing someone, can you tell if they are BSing you?" And I said, "Yes, I could tell in seconds if they're BSing me." And I call it out every time. I don't let people slide with it. And I'm okay with it. I tell them the truth, and I don't hold back. I'm not disrespectful. He says, "How can you tell if they are BSing you?" And this is what I told them. I said, "What has made me the top interviewer, one of the top interviewers on the planet, an expert, is because my approach, I got my insight from the Bible." Let me explain to you what I mean. There is a scripture, Luke 6:45. I've used this method for 35 years. There's a scripture in the Bible, Luke 6:35. It says this: "Out of the abundance of a man's heart, the mouth speaks." Now, the translation of heart in this scripture is thinking. Okay, so I'm going to say it again. Out of the abundance of a person's thoughts, the mouth will speak. In other words, your words give indication about how you think. I'll talk to you about the applications in just a second. Your words give insight into how a person thinks. Okay? Now there's another scripture that goes along with this that I put together. It's Proverbs 23:7. Proverbs 23:7. It says, "As a man thinks, so is he." Now that means your actions are a direct reflection of your thoughts. Your actions are a direct reflection of your thoughts. So if I put those two things together, if I see your actions, that gives me an indication of your thinking. Your actions are directly tied to who you are, your character. Okay? So if I want to know how you will act, I have to understand how you think. Because if I can understand how you think, I can accurately predict how you're going to act. Well, how can I know how you think? I'm not in your brain. I have to learn how to ask you questions that make you speak. If I can ask you pointed questions that make you give me an answer, I can interpret that answer properly, I get insight into your thinking, which gives me great insight and an understanding of how you will act, which gives me a clear understanding of what your character is. That's the job interview. We ask you interview questions so we can hear you speak, so we can understand how you think, so we can predict how you act when nobody else is watching you. We're after your character. We're trying to understand what makes you who you are. Like, why would you do or wouldn't do this or that? So we ask you questions like, tell me about yourself. What are we trying to figure out? We're not saying tell me about your career. I have that. That evaluation is over. I'm saying, I know you can do the job, but I don't know if I can trust you to do the job. So, tell me about yourself. What they're really saying is, please tell me about the 3 or 4 character traits that make you uniquely who you are and different from everybody else. Now, what are character traits? Character traits are the thing that make you who you are. They're your makeup. They're things like you're resilient, disciplined, compassionate, patient, courageous, flexible, honest, you're humble, you're honorable, you have integrity, you're loyal, you're persistent. These things describe the who you are, not the what you do. That's what hiring managers are trying to find out about you, but you don't know that. Nobody tells you that. Job interviewing is not just about me asking you a bunch of questions so you can brag about your career. It's not about that. You don't even have to tell me about your career. I can see based on your record here, you're good. But what I don't know is, do you have the character to do the job in an expert way? I can't tell that by looking at your previous experience. I can't tell it. So where do you fail? You're answering the questions wrong. You're not giving the hiring manager insight into who you are. You're just giving the hiring manager insight into what you've done. Now, if this is helpful to you, type helpful in the chat. I just want to make sure that I'm tracking here and you guys are understanding. The job interview is about your character, not your career. So you have to stop talking about your career accomplishments when you get the interview. That's the first big mistake you made. Okay, so you guys are typing in the chat. Okay, good. Now I'm going to tell you the second big mistake you make. Please listen. Your answers to job interview questions, they are way too long. And I'm going to explain to you how the hiring manager interprets your extra long, extended answers. You talk too much. I had a guy I did a coaching call with 3 Mondays ago. He has a bachelor's degree in data analytics from a prestigious school, business analytics. Smart guy. Whenever I do a coaching call, I send out a 5-question survey to try to get an understanding and a feel for that person. And one of the questions is, what would you consider to be your greatest professional strength? And he said, I am a good communicator. I'm very articulate. That's what he said. And I said, okay, that's cool. So he got on the call, asked him what the problem was. He told me, I've been applying to jobs for a year and I have not been able to land a job, so I need help. I need to figure out what's going on. So I asked him a couple of follow-up questions. Okay, what is your degree field? Business analytics, data analytics. Okay, great. How long ago did you graduate? He told me. How long have you been looking for a job? He said a year, since July of 2025. And I said, you haven't gotten any offers? He said, no. I said, well, how many interviews have you had since July? He said 30. Wait a minute. So I said, you've had 30 interviews, but you had no offers? He said, yes. I said, well, I'm going to tell you what your problem is. The thing you think is your greatest strength, that's your biggest liability. You talk too much in the interview and you need to learn how to shut up. Hey, Tracy. You talk too much. That's right. You are oversharing. And I said, without you telling me, I can bet you give the answer to a question and then you explain why you gave that answer. He said, yeah, that's exactly what I do. If that's what you do, type, yep, that's me in the chat. I will tell the hiring manager what the answer is, and then I'll explain to the hiring manager why I gave that answer as backup. Type yes in the chat if that's what you do. I told him, you don't understand what happens when you do that. The hiring manager thinks that you lack confidence in your answer. You gave an answer, then you explained the answer. Why are you explaining the answer? They feel like you lack confidence and they don't want someone on their team who don't have confidence. That's a character flaw. You're over talking. You talk too much. You're sharing too much. When a hiring manager asks you a question, give the answer, stop. You feel like you want to give more answers because, in just a second I'm going to tell you why, but you shouldn't be oversharing. If a hiring manager asks you, tell me about yourself, you give them the 4 character traits. I'm loyal, honest, committed, I'm a hard worker, I'm persistent, I do not quit, and I'm someone you will never have to worry about whether this job is going to get done or not. That's how you answer the tell me about yourself question. You don't regurgitate your resume, which they already have and have made a decision is far and above what it is they're looking for. You tell them about your character, the who you are when no one is watching. The person they can depend on when no one is watching. What you say gives insight into how you think. How you think will show up in what you do. What you do is a direct reflection of your character, and that's why we're trying to interview you. So if you don't answer, tell me about yourself, right, that's strike 1. In job interviewing ain't baseball. It's only 2 strikes. Okay? QBN says, is it bad to tell a recruiter what you currently make to be able to tell them the range I'm looking for? Yes. You should never, ever give a range when somebody asks you about pay. Ever. Now, I know why you do that is because you're trying to get them to give you the max amount of money. But that's not, we don't care about that. Nobody, you may have built the Eiffel Tower somewhere else, but all we need you to build is a 1-bedroom house. The jobs are completely different. The function of the work is the same, but the job is completely different. What's my point? Pay is determined by the outcome a company wants you to give. So when they give you a range, they are telling you we're willing to pay someone to get this outcome. If you created a bigger outcome somewhere else and you made more money, that's apples and oranges. You should never, ever, ever talk about money in terms of a number when you interview. Ever. You're never going to get that right. Okay, I'm going to explain to you how to navigate that in just a second. So, you talk too much in an interview. You oversharing. My framework says you should answer non-behavior based questions in 15 seconds or less. You should answer behavior-based questions using the STAR interview answer framework in 45 to 60 seconds or less. Loves Me 100 says, how about a desired salary on the application? Give you a quick trick. Please pay close attention. If the application requires you to put a number, but you don't know where to find a number, it's not on the job post. Okay, so let me start. If it is on the job post, put the top number. So if it says 120 to 160,000, I don't care what your experience is, you put 160,000. It is not going to cause you to lose your job. We list pay to show you the guardrails. This is what we would like to stay within. It's not, doesn't mean this is what we are going to stay within. Now, if you go to a job posting and it asks you to put in your desired salary, but there is no indication of what the range is, this is what you do. Pull up another browser, go to Google, and type in what is the pay range for whatever that position title is at whatever that company name is, enter. Google will spit back a range for you. Whatever that top number is, that's the number you put in that desired salary box. Why do we do that? We're just trying to make sure that we're talking to someone who understands that we want to work with someone within this range. It doesn't mean that that's where we're going to stop. It just means you got to at least be within the guardrails for us to have a conversation. You're welcome. Miss Sanders, what's the best response when filling out an application and they ask you for your current income or minimum income? I just gave that answer. Okay. I love all of your videos. Changa, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. All right. So let's keep going. So you got to get straight to the point. On my fast track program, whenever I do interview prep with a client, I always tell them, keep it short and simple. Be straight to the point. Okay? So if somebody says to me, Daniel, on average, how many people do you get hired annually for large companies? 6,000. That's the answer. I'm not going to explain how or why 6,000. 6,000 is the number. If they ask me to explain it, I can explain it in 5 seconds. Many years ago, I don't advise you guys doing this. I was interviewing with a CEO and 2 VP of operations for a recruiting position, a recruiter manager job for a pediatric urgent care clinic company. And they were having problems with recruiting. Okay? So the CEO says, well, these are the challenges we're having. This is what's going on. How can you help us fix it? And I said, yeah, I'm 100% sure I can help you fix it. And I said, I usually don't ask questions in an interview, but may I ask you one question? And he said, yes. I said, what problem is your current team telling you they are having with filling your positions? And he said, well, they're telling me that there are not enough applicants to apply for and fill the jobs that we have. And I said, okay, about how many jobs per month are you looking to fill? And he said about 30. So I thought in my mind, wait a minute. They're trying to fill 30 jobs a month in multiple markets, and their HR team is telling them, okay. I said, sir, again, I usually don't do this in an interview, but would you mind if I just use a quick tool that I have and see how many people are in that market? Because I want to make sure I can be successful in this position. And he said, yes. It took me 5 seconds. I looked at the biggest market they have, and I said, I just did a quick search using one tool on LinkedIn, and I see that there is 57,000 medical assistants in this market. He said, what? I said, yes. I said, the real problem you have is not applicants. It is your HR team doesn't know how to do what I just did in 5 seconds. That's your problem. It's not a shortage of candidates. It's a lack of ability to find these candidates like I just did, literally in 5 seconds. I said, so now if I'm offered a job, my job is to get to these 57,000 candidates for you and get these positions filled. I'm sure we can find 30 people out of the 57,000. Needless to say, I got the job, $10,000 more than the max offer. That's why you don't talk about pay in terms of a number. He didn't know that about me from my application. Okay? So, I don't advise you doing that. So we don't talk about numbers. So your answers are too long. Let me give you the third reason why you are not getting job offers. This third reason why is you lack preparation. So many people over the years have come to me and said, can you help me with the interview? Can you help with the interview? And my solution to that was, okay, I'm going to create a guide that I call a cheat sheet, a job interview cheat sheet. And I'm going to list every question that I have ever given a hiring manager to ask, and every answer I tell the hiring manager they need to be looking for, and what those answers tell them about the candidate they're interviewing. So I put that whole guide together. It's called my top 50 interview questions and answer cheat sheet. These are the questions that every hiring manager that I've ever worked with, I gave it to them in some combination. I usually give them about 20 questions and say you can use any one of these in any combination. And their answers will tell you if they're a top candidate. Okay? So I created this cheat sheet, which is a guide, gives a total understanding of what the job interview is about and how you should approach it and the questions that will be asked and how you should answer them. I did that so people can be prepared. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I don't understand the process. I don't understand what's going on. You will know. It'll be right in your face. Trust me. Okay? So that's the reason why I created that top 50 interview questions and answer guide. I'm going to tell you how to get it at the end if you want it. But you lack preparation. You don't know what the job interview is about. You don't know what questions are being asked. When they ask you a question, you don't understand why they're asking. Why are they asking me what is my weakness? Why are they asking me what is my strength? Why are they asking me, tell me about yourself? Why are they asking me these so tricky questions? Why don't they just ask me about my experience? Because we already know about your experience. Why would we ask you that? That would be like me looking at your application, seeing your name, and then saying to you, what's your name? I know your name. I'm looking at it. That's the problem you have. Email me, Daniel@dscds.com. 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 Okay? So you lack preparation. You don't know what the job interview is about. So you're screwed from the very beginning. All right? Now the fourth reason why you fail to get job offers, please listen to me. This is in partnership with the second answer, is you try to oversell yourself in an interview. You are trying to oversell yourself and prove to the hiring manager that you're a right fit. Let me tell you why that does not work, and you should never do that. You should never say, we're sold on the fact that you're it. We already sold on the fact that you can do the job. We don't know if you have the character to do the job, but the skill, we already know you have it. So I tell this story all the time. Every time I do a live, I try to tell this story. So I have a car that I drive that I really like. Okay, I'm going to tell you what it is. I really like it. It's the car I wanted. I drive a Chrysler 300C. Not the S, not the Touring, the C. So before I purchased this car, I was driving another Chrysler 300, an older model, but it was a Touring. Okay, so it didn't have all of the fancy bells and whistles, blah, blah, blah. The C, I like it because of the trim. It has wood grain, and I wanted heated seats, cool seats, heated steering wheel, moon roof. I wanted the sunshade in the back. I wanted the chrome package. I wanted the whole thing. And I wanted the VVT 6-cylinder engine, not the 8-cylinder engine. The VVT 6-cylinder engine. That's what I wanted. So when I was ready to buy a car, I called around to like 4 or 5 car dealerships and said, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Please call me and tell me if you have one, and I'll come by and take a look at it. Gunmetal gray, black leather seats, moonroof, heated seats, and cooled seats, heated steering wheel, wood grain packages, wood grain steering wheel, right? Leather interior, silver 21-inch, 22-inch wheels, silver mirrors, the whole C package. The C package is what they call the executive series. So I put it out there. So I had this guy call me from a car dealership. Hey, Mr. Smiley, how you doing? I see you looking for a Chrysler 300, and I wanted to tell you about the one I have. I said, okay, great. He said, yeah, I have a white S. I said, what? You have a what? White? So I don't want a white car? I don't want an S. Did you not read what I sent to you? Y'all, like, no, I know you want one that's gray. I don't have one that's gray, but I do have a white. The S has an 8-cylinder. I said, I don't care what the S has. I don't want an S, sir. Please. If you don't have a gunmetal gray seat, don't call. Please, don't even. You don't have to call me. Like, if you have a gray one and it's a C and everything that I just said, I'll come. But don't call me because you have a white one. Okay. So another guy called me. He says, hey, man, I got a black Touring. Sir, that's not what I asked for. I don't want that. Then this guy from a dealership close to my house, maybe 10 miles, 15 miles from my house, called me. Hey, I see what you want. We have it. So I asked him again, does it have these things? He said, yes, it has all of those things that you want. Great. I will be there in 2 hours. And I went there. He had the car pulled up. And he says, would you like to test drive it? I said, I don't have to, but I will. So I drove it and I came back. And when I came back, please listen to me. He started telling me about all the bells and whistles of the car, the features and benefits of the car. And I said, sir, well, stop. I'm buying it. Just tell me where to sign. You don't have to tell me about the car. I know about the car. I'm the one that asked you to get all of this for me. You don't have to sell me on nothing. I already know that this is the car I want. Where do I sign to buy it, sir? That's what you do in job interviews. We see you have the experience. And all you talk about is your experience. We see you have the education. All you talk about. Oh, so what the hiring manager's thinking is, you're not believable. You're like a used car salesman. You're annoying. That's irritating. They don't like that. And there are many of you who do that. So you don't sell yourself in an interview. You present yourself. You know that you have the skill, experience, education. You show them your character, and either they gonna pick you or not. Okay? All right, Moni says, I'm heading to work. I'll contact you soon. You can continue to watch this live on your phone if you like to. All right. The fifth reason why you do not get job offers is you ask way too many questions in an interview. Now, let's test this. When a hiring manager says, that's all I have, do you have any questions for me? In the chat, I want you to type, how many questions do you typically ask at the end of an interview? How many do you ask? Tell me. Is it 1? Is it 5? Is it 10? Like, how many questions do you typically ask at the end of an interview? Some people put 2, 3, 1, 4 questions. 2. Right? Okay. How many questions should you ask at the end of an interview? Last says 3, 2 to 3. So check this out. Please listen to me very carefully. Law verified. QBN 2 to 3. William Ferguson 1. All right, watch this. When a hiring manager says to you, that's all I have, do you have any questions for me? What they're saying is, that's all I have. This is the end of the interview. I have made my decision. Out of courtesy, do you have any questions for me? And then what you start doing is asking questions. What does success look like over the next 30, 60, 90 days? Why is the position vacant? What is the culture of the company look like? What kind of expectations and goals are you trying to get someone to meet? What do things look like a year from now? That's what you ask. You ask all those questions. And you think that asking those questions shows the hiring manager that you're interested in the job. That's what you think is happening. It's doing the complete opposite. Nobody tells you this. I found this out, and it was a surprise to me when hiring managers over and over again told me this, what I'm about to tell you. You ask these questions. You think you're trying to show the hiring manager that you're interested, but what you're actually doing is you're sounding skeptical. What is the culture of the company? What does success look like? your questions sound skeptical, which causes the hiring manager to change their mind about whether they want to offer you the job. But you don't know that. Everybody tells you, ask questions. Hiring managers don't want you to ask them questions, because once they made a decision, they want to feel comfortable that you are the person that they're picking and you're the right person, and that you are sure too. So at the end of an interview, I do advise asking only one question, just one. This is the most powerful candidate question on the planet. And it does the two things that you want. It tells the hiring manager you want this job. But it also makes the hiring manager tell you if they are planning to make you a job offer, which is what you want to know. And it will be great to know before you leave. Wouldn't it be nice to know if you were going to get a job offer before you left that interview? Yes. So, Loves Me says, I usually don't ask any questions. I don't advise asking 0 questions, but I don't advise asking any more questions than this one. Okay? So what is that question? Hiring manager gets to the end of an interview and then they say, well, that's all I have. Do you have any questions for me? This is exactly what you should say at the end to tell them that you're interested and to find out if they're going to make you an offer. You say, thank you very much for this interview. I have really learned a lot. I'm excited about this position. I do have one question to ask you. When would you like for me to get started? That's the question you ask. When would you like for me to get started? Now, what happened? You just told the hiring manager that you want the job. So they are, all right, if I offer this person the job, they're going to say yes. So you just told them that you want the job by saying, when would you like for me to get started? Now they have to respond, and they're going to tell you if they're going to make you an offer. Okay? Remember what I said? Out of the abundance of a person's thoughts, their mouth will speak. You are about to learn right now exactly what the hiring manager thinks about you, and if they're going to make you an offer, because they're going to respond. Okay. So if they respond like this, you're not going to get an offer. If they say, well, we do have several other people that we need to interview, and once we have interviewed everyone, then we will decide who we want to get started. They're not interested in you. They're not acting with a sense of urgency, and they don't care if they lose you. No hiring manager who wants to keep you, they don't say that, because they're concerned that you're a top candidate and you're going to be gone. Okay? All right. So if they respond like this, they are going to make you an offer. If they say, well, the next steps are someone from human resources or from talent acquisition will reach out to you. We have to have you finish your paperwork, do your onboarding, and we're looking to have someone start on July 9th. Can you start July 9th? If they say that to you, you are definitely going to get an offer letter within 24 to 72 hours. So Valkyrie says, I got that exact same line yesterday in an interview. Yeah. It's because they didn't like you. They don't think that you have the character necessary to do the job. What if it's multiple rounds of interviews? Thanks, Nu. Here's how you respond. If it is a recruiter interview, you say, thank you very much. When would you like for me to interview with the hiring manager? If it's a hiring manager interview, you say, when would you like for me to get started? And the hiring manager may respond, well, we have to have you interview with the panel. If you're interviewing with the panel, you ask them the same question. When would you guys like for me to get started? And they may say, well, you got to interview with the VP. And if you interview with the VP, you do the same thing. When would you like for me to get started? And that VP will then say, well, let me get with the hiring manager, and someone will reach out to you to get you going. That's how you do it. Right. So Valkyrie says she got the response of the first response, which was this. They said, well, we do have several other candidates interviewed. And once we finish interviewing everybody, then we will let you know who's going to get started. She got that response yesterday, and your chat says, and they went with another candidate. Yes. Almost 100% of the time when you get that response, they don't want you. Now, why didn't they pick you? Because you didn't show them that you have the character necessary to do the job well. Not that you can do the job. That's not the issue. The issue is they didn't believe you have the character to do the job. And that's why they didn't pick you. Last says, what does the past experience make you believe I can't do the job? Then you're not going to get an interview. If we look at your resume and we do not think you have the experience, and by the way, 90 out of 100 people who apply to jobs don't have the expertise, we won't even interview. It's a waste of everybody's time. Okay? So, all right. And finally, we just talked about you asked the wrong questions at the end. That's the sixth reason. Now, I am going to tell you how you can send a 4-question response to every job offer you get, and they will give you $2,000, $5,000, $8,000, or $10,000 extra on top of the job offer. If you're ready for that, type a money sign in the chat. Type a money sign in the chat. Stick around because I'm going to tell you about a few things that we offer to help. And I see several of you have sent me an email, and I am going to share that information with you in just a second. All right. So let's say you do get the job offer. This is the process. We give everyone in talent acquisition and HR, we give everyone 72 hours to tell us yes or no. 72. So when you get the job offer, the first thing you're going to do is sit on it for 24 hours. You're not going to respond. The second day, you're going to send an email response to that emailed offer. I don't care if it's the max amount. If the job says it pays 100 to 150 and they offer you 153,000, I don't care. You're going to send this email because there's always more money in the offer. Trust me, I'm the guy that does this in the organizations. This is the message you want to send, and this you have to send it exactly like this. You can't deviate from what it is I'm about to share with you. You're going to say, thank you very much for this offer. I am very excited about getting started on the team. I was wondering if the company is able to go to new number, whatever that new number is. So you may be 160. I was wondering if the company is able to go to 160,000. Thanks again. I can't wait to get started. Now, you have to say it exactly like that. I was wondering if the company is able to go to. Not if the company can give me. Not I deserve. I was wondering if the company is able to go to. Now, let me tell you what happens when you do that. That email comes back to someone like me. I then go to the hiring manager and say, hey, they're countering and they want to see if we can go to 160. Is that possible? If the hiring manager could make a decision right on the spot, they would say yes. Or they would give you a number that maybe, now we can't do 160, but we can do 156, whatever. They'll say yes. If they can't make that decision on their own, They will go to leadership, maybe a VP, and say, hey, just got a counter from Daniel. We offered him 153. He wants to know if we can go to 160. Can we do that? This is what the VP says. Do you think they're worth it? And the hiring manager says, oh yeah, they are worth it. Yeah. And then they'll say, go for it. Now let me explain to you why the hiring managers go for it almost every time. When they interview you, they're trying to get two things right. Does this person have the skill to do the job, and do they have the character to do the job? So they realize they just found someone who perfectly matches both skill and character. That's rare. Okay? Now that they found you and you send this counter back, they know if they say no to your counter, no, they got to go back through this whole process again to try to find somebody that compares to you. They don't want to do that. Trust me, they do not want to go back through the interview process at all. So that's why 99% of the time they say yes, or they may give you a lesser number. And that's why people like Ariel and the others on the Fast Track program, they all get $2, $8, $10, $20,000 more than they've ever made before. That's why. Okay? So, I'm going to answer your questions so you can leave them in the chat, but let's talk about what we discovered today. All right. So we talked about the big mistakes a lot of people make in job interviews and why they don't get high-paying job offers. I just showed you a simple way to get 10 times more job offers in 30 days or less, like the next interviews you have. Someone asked me, how do I apply to 100 jobs per day? I'm going to tell you right now how I show people on the Fast Track program that you can apply to 100 jobs every single day in just 30 minutes a day using LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, and Indeed.com. 30 on LinkedIn, 35 on ZipRecruiter, 35 on Indeed.com. 30 minutes a day. And by the way, it doesn't matter when you put the application in. I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You can apply to 100 every single day, and that's what I teach people on my Fast Track program, which is why they land 2, 3 to 5 job offers in 30 days or less. And that's why they get so much money and so many offers. So what do we talk about? We talked about the job interview. You don't know what it's about. Okay, you think it's about your career, but it's actually about your character. We've already determined your career. Now we need to figure out your character, and you don't talk about your character. That's why you don't get the job. Second thing we talked about is your answers are too long. You just talk way too long. Okay? Way too long. And when you give an answer and then you explain your answer, it shows that you lack confidence in your original response. So that's a character issue hiring managers don't want. They want you to be confident, but you're showing that you're not confident because your answers are long-winded. Okay, you explain in the explanation, and you explain in the reason for the explanation, and you give a definition of the explanation too. That frustrates hiring managers. Third thing we talked about is you lack preparation. You don't know what the job interview is about. You don't know the common questions they will ask. You have no idea about none of that stuff. And then we talked about you oversell yourself in an interview, right? The hiring managers already know you can do the job, and you keep talking about how you can do the job. You're overselling yourself. That frustrates hiring managers. And then the last thing, the last two things are you ask too many questions at the end. You think it's showing that you're interested in the job, but it's showing that you're skeptical. It sounds like you're skeptical. I know that that's not your intent, but it sounds like you're skeptical, and that's an issue for hiring managers. And finally, you ask the wrong questions at the end. Okay? You have to ask this one question that I just talked about, and it'll get you $2,000 to $10,000 more at the end of every job interview. So many of you have asked in the chat. I've seen several of you already email me, and you're asking the question, can you help me? Yes, I'm going to tell you what I offer to help if you want it. Okay? And if you decide to do it, we'll get you taken care of. If not, I completely understand, and I'm okay with that. So, if you are someone, you are having challenges with getting 10 to 15 calls for job interviews a week. If that is your problem, the issue is your resume, and we can fix it. Okay? So we have resume packages, 3 tiers of resumes. We have a basic resume. That resume will get you 10 to 15 calls every single week if you apply every single day the way I tell you to apply. Okay? In fact, I'm going to start including a strategy in my email reply for how you can actually apply to the jobs you need to apply to on a daily basis. I'm going to include that once people start making a purchase. So let me write that down because I want to remember that. I'll remember it. All right, so the basic package is $77.99. Okay, that's the basic resume only. If you want a resume plus a cover letter, we offer that as well. That's $88.99. You should only send the cover letter when you get the hiring manager interview. You should never send the cover letter with your application. Okay, we don't read the cover letter anyway with your application. You need to wait to send it when you know who the hiring manager is. That's $88.99. The third package and our best package, and the one that almost everybody gets, is our complete resume ready package. Okay, the complete resume ready package. With that package, you get a resume, plus you get a cover letter, plus you're going to get a LinkedIn optimized resume. Okay, that resume can be used to create job board profiles on any job board. And I'm going to give you as a bonus my top 50 interview questions and answer cheat sheet guide. I'm going to give you my guide, what you should know before you go, so you're not asking questions in an interview you shouldn't be. And I'm going to give you my guide, the best way to negotiate higher pay. So all three of those guides are going to come with the top package. That's $97.99. Okay. For this live, and I'm putting up a 12-minute clock, I'm going to do something special for you guys if you want the top package. If you purchase the basic package, which is $77.99, I will give you the top package with all of the bonus guides free. So you paid $77.99, and I'll give you the top package. So it's about $120 value, $130 value. You're getting it for $77.99. All you have to do is send me an email, and the subject line has to say live basic deal. Live basic deal. I'm going to put a 12-minute clock here in just a second. The first 10 people who purchase the live basic deal purchase, not just send me an email, purchase it, I'm cutting it off. It'll be over. Okay? So if we get 10 before the 12-minute clock goes down, it's done. And you'll have to purchase the full price. Okay? All right. Now people say, well, you've been talking about this fast track program. What is a fast track program? My fast track program is a program where I guarantee you, if you're on my fast track program, you are going to land multiple higher paying job offers in 30 days or less. On the fast track program, I help you fix your resume. I do that for you. I help you fix your LinkedIn profile. Okay, so recruiters start calling you. You're going to get 10 times more recruiter calls. I give you my top 50 interview questions and answer cheat sheet. You get the what you should know before you go guide. You get my book, Your Total Career Makeover. And you get the best way to negotiate pay. And I do all of your career coaching. That's usually $160 an hour, but that comes with the fast track program. I do all of your interview prep, so you will never interview for a job without talking to me first, and I'll tell you every question that will be asked and every answer to give. And I will walk you through your offer so you can get $2,000 to $20,000 more from every single offer that you get in that 30 days, so you make the additional money. And I'm going to do training. Every week I train on how to apply to 100 jobs a day using LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, and Indeed.com. And I train you on interview prep, what the 4 interviews are all about, how to answer every interview question. I do that every Tuesday. We do a group session every Monday where it's an accountability session, and we come together as a group and we talk. And I give you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week access to me. So if you need interview prep or you need anything like that, all you do is send me a text message or call me, and we will schedule a Zoom call, and I will prep you. I don't care what day it is. All of that, you get for $547. By the way, the price is increasing August 1st. $547. But if you decide you want to get that right now during this live in the next 12 minutes, I'm giving you 30% off of that deal, and I'm giving you 4 months to pay it in installments. So it's like $96 today and $96 a month for 3 months after that, even though I'm going to get you a job making $5,000 to $10,000 more than what you're currently making in the next 30 days. People ask me, well, why do you do that? It's because I don't want it to be a risk for you. Remember I told you my story earlier? I don't want you to have burden. I do not want this to be risky for you at all. So what I'm saying is $96 to sign up and $96 a month for the next 4 months. And I'm going to get you a job making $5,000 to $10,000 more. If you do everything that I say, that's the exchange we're talking about. What you get is a higher paying job. What you give is your confidence in the process and the plan that I help 60 people a month get. That's the exchange. I'm going to put a clock on right now, and I have staff standing by ready to get you squared away. So in the next 12 minutes, if you want the live basic deal, send me an email, live basic deal, and we'll send you the link to grab that. The first 10 people who grab it, deal is off. After the first 10 people. If you want to join my fast track program, I'm only allowing 5 people to join my fast track program doing this live. 5 only. You send me a email that says fast30, and I will send you a link to sign up for the fast track program. The next fast track starts this coming Monday. If you do not do it during this live, that deal is off and it goes back up to $547. So you send me an email that says live basic deal, and I will send you the link, or someone from my staff will send you the link to get the resume package. And if you want the live basic deal, and if you want the fast track program, you send me an email that says fast30, and I'll send you a link. Immediately get 30% off, and you can do 4 installments. So it's less than what my top resume package is. My top resume package is $97.88. My fast track program to take care of everything and help you land a job is $96 with the installments. Okay, $547, 30% off, $96 a month, and we'll take care of you. I see several of you are sending emails asking about the live basic deal. Remember, this is not the first 10 people who send an email. It's the first 10 people who purchase. Once those 10 purchases are done, this deal is off. We got 10 minutes left before the deal is off. Let me answer some of your questions while you guys are sending me emails, and I'll get you guys squared away, okay? Let me see here. Okay, good. All right. So send me an email if you want the live basic deal or fast 30, and I'll get you guys taken care of. So your questions or your comments. That's great. Got it now. My apologies. What was the subject line again we need to include in the email? If you want the resume package with the upgrade, and you get resume plus a cover letter plus a LinkedIn optimized resume, plus you get my top 50 interview questions and answer cheat sheet, and you get the guide, what you should know before you go, and you get the guide, the best way to negotiate pay. You get all 3 of those bonuses. That's about $130 value. If you purchase the basic resume, $77.99, you get all of that stuff as an upgrade for free. You have to send me an email, and in the subject line it has to say live basic deal. Live basic deal. If you want the fast track program where you want me to take care of and get you $5,000 more in your job offer in the next 30 days, you send me an email, and in the subject line it has to say fast 30. Fast 30 for my fast track program. You'll immediately get 30% off, and you'll get your resume taken care of. Your LinkedIn profile will get that taken care of. You'll get one-on-one coaching for interview prep, career coaching, and your offer prep. You'll get the group trainings that you'll be in. That's live group trainings for resumes, for interview prep, and for how to find jobs and land jobs on LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, Indeed.com. 100 per day. 100 per day. The big problem that people have when it comes to applying to jobs is many of the jobs you're applying to are closed, but you don't know that. They've already been filled. So I show people on the Fast Track program how to make sure that that doesn't happen. All right? So you send the subject line has to say Fast 30 for the Fast Track program, live basic deal for the resume upgrade. We have 8 minutes left, and the first 10 people who purchase the live basic deal, this deal will be off, and the first 5 people who purchase the Fast Track program, they'll be good as well. All right. So my apologies. What's included in an email? Let me see. There's another question here. If you have a question, you can leave it in the chat. I'm happy to answer those questions for you. All right. So I had somebody reach out to me and ask about, is this guaranteed? The answer to the question is yes. If you do everything that I tell you on my Fast Track program, it is a guarantee that you will land a job in 30 days or less. The average person on my Fast Track program will land a job in about 24 days. Ariel landed a job in about 8 days. But she's the one that says, I was skeptical. I just thought you were just trying to make another dollar. Nope. I'm just trying to help as many people as I can. I'm not worried about that. I want to share one other thing with you guys, and I really want you to pay close attention to this. Many of you have said to yourself, I want more. I deserve more. I'm ready to go to the next level of my life. And you've been saying that for a long time, and nothing has happened. You've tried everything, but nothing worked, and you don't know why. Okay? I'm going to explain to you why. God is always doing multiple things at the same time. He's not just doing one thing, he's doing multiple things. He's working on you, he's working on me, he's working on a bunch of things, right? The reason why you don't have what you want in your life right now is because you're not ready for it. You're not ready. God is preparing you for the blessing you asked about and you want. But he's preparing the blessing for you. Those two things are happening at the same time. You will not get the blessing if it's not ready, and the blessing will not find you if you're not ready. Both of those things have to happen at the same time. So you can wish, want, cry, hem, haw, pray, dance, you can do whatever you want. Until the blessing is ready for you and you are ready for the blessing, nothing will happen. Okay? Now watch this. How do you know when you're ready? What is the indication that the Lord is telling you, oh yeah, you're ready? I'm going to tell you. This is the indication. When you come to a cross section in the road where you say, the thing that I have prayed for, the thing that I have desired, the thing that I have been wanting all my life is now right here. You can see it. Right? You have to take action. If you don't take action, you will miss the opportunity. Now, for many of you, you didn't feel that. Okay? You didn't feel it. You were like, oh my goodness, I want this, I deserve this, I need this, but you didn't. It never came. Now, it's here. And you have to make a decision. Am I going to take this opportunity or not? I used to sing on one of the largest Christian television networks on the planet, second largest on the planet. Many of you may know Daystar. I sang for years. Yeah, y'all didn't know I could blow like that, but I can. Travel all over the world doing it. Marcus Lamb, God rest his soul, said to me once when we were in London, England, and I heard him give this testimony many times. He says, I was not God's first choice to start this television network. Now I'm like, what are you talking about? This is the second largest television network, hundreds of millions of dollars in advertisements and donations every single year. What you talking about? You were not God's first choice. He said I wasn't God's first choice. I was just the first person who said yes to God. So the difference between where you are right now and where you want to be is not that are you ready or are you not ready? Is the place ready? Is the place not ready? When the place is ready and you are ready, you have to say yes, or it will pass you by. That happened to me so many times in my life. I can remember when I wanted a promotion on a job and I didn't get it. I wasn't ready. I was not ready. I see it now, but I didn't know it then. And so when it's time for you to say yes, and you don't say yes, that blessing is going to pass you right by. And then you have to prepare all over again for the next time that road intersects. How long will you wait? That's the question, right? I decided to take a leap of faith and do certain things, and God has aligned things like you would not believe. This is something else I want you to understand too. We have 1 minute and 40 seconds left before all of these deals are gone. Revelation 3:7. This is what it says. And the reason why I don't argue with people in my comments or online or anything like that is because here's what I know. Revelation 3:7 says, whatever door God opens for you, me, us, whatever door God opens, no man can close it. Whatever door God closes for you, me, no man can open it. There's another scripture I love. I have it on my wall. Proverbs 19:21. It says this: many are the plans in a man's heart, but it is God's will that prevails over them all. That's what I can plan, I can want to do this, I can want to do that, but it doesn't matter. God's plan will prevail over them all. So God is sending us the opportunities. He's opening the doors. He's closing the doors. He's preparing us. He's showing us that the time is now. We just have to take advantage of it. And if you're not doing that, that's completely up to you. How should you apply for a position that's different from your career background? You need to apply and see if they're going to accept you. If you can't solve the problem that someone wants, then that's an issue. All right. That's the clock. Thank you guys so much for joining the live. I appreciate it. If you want help, send me an email, and I'll see you again soon. God bless you.